Welcome to Verbal Pick Radio, where we give you a verbal image of life, and we are everyday people. Like to welcome you all to the show. Special thanks goes out to Sanara Smith, Pebbles, Low Key, Gino, Brother Jamal, High Frequency. What's up, Brother Abdul? A-Tone Productions, man. So many people out there, and all my friends that's on Facebook, from the P.O., Partner Tay, what's going on? Mammoth in the house. What's up, man? South Lee, H-Town. I had to get that out because today's subject is about unity and special rest in peace to the good brother and his good memory, Brother Dick-Gregory. Unity. We can't skip over unity. We have examples of unity in other cultures, especially in Houston. You can go down Bel Air and see the Asian community and how they're unified as far with their banks. And some of us can remember when the street signs wasn't in Asian writings. We can see how things progressed and changed over the time, and we can see little Italy. We can see Greek town. We can see these different pockets of community, the Indian community, the Arab community. But we are so engulfed in American society, not due to the fact that we were wanted. We had to learn what is an American? What's the dynamics of America? What is it to be American? Who were our first teachers? It was the slave masters. They taught us how to become an American. And it's sad to say that we had a lot of piss poor teachers in this American system. Some of the slave masters, they were rapists, murderers, criminals, thieves, and so we learned from these people. We learned brutality. We learned how to treat each other. You ever notice how the parents used to be, like your grandparents or your great grandparents, and you hear the tales of how they would pick up anything to whoop a child, in a sense? Well, that's the way the slave master did them, and they thought that was the way that you had to be in this new America, meaning they adopted the slave master's mindset. Now, I got to give a shout out to Charlemagne the God, because on NBC, he, on public television, he mentioned the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, right? Because you rarely on a worldwide platform hear people mention the Honorable Elijah Muhammad other than people that's members of the Nation of Islam, right? Because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had a platform for unity for black people in America. So that's the platform we need to follow, all the way down to an economic plan, all the way down to the forms and whatnot. And that's a system. If you don't have a system, you can follow that system in order to unite. Now, what's the purpose and the importance of uniting amongst melanated people in America? And I'm also including the Native Americans. The purpose of unification is, one, it builds wealth. It strengthens the individual. It truly will be a village. There will be a connection of love for one another, and then we could build and grow our community to the heights that have not been seen since 1920s Black Wall Street. Upon our unification, there's so much great things that could be done. We can unite, come together, clean up the environment, clean up the areas, get people off drugs. There would be no need for drug dealing because we're educating lawyers to go work for our law firm, doctors to go work for our hospitals, accountants, bank financiers. I mean, so many aspects. We have our own fishermen. I mean, to build our community, but it would be based out of love for one another, and that, how can I say, and that frequency of melanin that we give off to one another, of that positive energy, because we would have been removed the negative stereotypes that was planted and enforced by a system of white supremacy and racism. That'll be something that we would have to do. Then no longer will we look at each other as enemies. Then we could stop killing one another. When you got the whole world now, or you gathered the attention of the whole world, the last thing you want to do is be involved in black on black crime. That's the last. Now, if any incidents occur within the community, right, we need you all to take down the license plates of any car you see that leaves the scene of a crime where there's a shooting. And I'm going to tell you why. Because you need to report that. I'd say, you know what? Report. You know what you do? Give that license plates to put it on Brother Cornell Alexis' page, Facebook page, right? Reason being is, if you turn it over to the police department, you don't know if they were working with the police department. You get what I'm saying? Because there's been incidents where you had white individuals with black mask or black face go and do a drive-by in the black community. No one sees anything, and then they set another drive-by shooting or some more deaths within the black community. Right. So we need the people to be vigilant. We don't need people out there drunk and high on drugs at night walking, and you miss the whole incident and you can't relay information back so that people can know that, wait, we're being railroaded again. Because why? Because the enemy, like Pac say, is full of dirty tricks. They got some tricks up their sleeves. I mean, they are scientists at tricknology, right? So people, you got to be vigilant. You got to be aware. You got to have your eyes open. You have to protect your life and your fellow neighbors' lives as if they were valuable. You have to see yourself as being valuable. Right, and then from that stems, you want to see everybody else as being valuable. It's a must. You know why? Because the whole world is watching. They want to see our next move. They want to state that. But look, this is what they're going to do, right? First, they're going to do a measurement of the intelligence of the black community. They want to see if we can rise up to the occasion of unification and the highest level of civilization since we started civilization. Right. We can't fall for the tricks no more. During this COVID-19, while the children had been home from school since March, educate, but proper education. Message to the black man. Anything about Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Listen to Minister Farrakhan's lectures. Educate, mathematics, science, educate. Pull up some of my podcasts. Educate. Learn your history. and not just in America. Your history encompasses this whole planet, but in all the Americas, South America, Central America, learn about Brazil's history, Portuguese, learn about Spain and the Moors. Learn the history of the Moorish scientist with Noble Ali. Learn about Marcus Garvey. Learn about the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. Definitely, that is instructions and whatnot that we can do to build and help ourselves. Because at the end of the day, nobody's going to do it, and nobody's going to help us but us. Believe me. So it's time, to build, get that knowledge, educate yourself, and make sure you educate your children. Don't read them that Snow White bullshit and the Three Dwarfs and all that fairy tale that they systematically try to make black people inferior from a child. And then them nursery rhymes and shit. Throw that out the way. We don't need that. If you got an image of the white Jesus, get that out your house. Keep that. That's more poisonous. Get that poison away from children. Don't feed them negative images. Build and unite. Now, white people that protesting with us, right? We appreciate that because it strengthens numbers, right? But we actually need you all to stay committed, stay focused, because what's on the other side of this is when it's really gonna count. When the detractors start going in and start lying and dissecting the movement and try to spin the narrative and try to make it seem as though we were wrong. You got to stand up and say, "Hey, we know the tricks." You know what I mean? We're not allowing it this time because there is no way we can go back to business as usual pre COVID-19. We're not there. Those days are gone. They're not coming back. But black people, black men, knowledge is power. Educate yourself. Stand up, be upright, and move. Your mind is so powerful because you cause things into existence and you actually cause your own reality. Study yourself to show yourself approved. Get the knowledge. You got to build. Got to build. It's getting at that hour in that time. So there's no more excuses. To all the strong brothers who in black militias and black groups who go out and investigate and saying, "Hey, look, we're not trying to seek any confrontations with anyone, but we will defend ourselves." Stay strong, man. Shout out to that because that's the attitude you have to have, and that's the only attitude that some understand. Because you have to defy what is a man. You gotta define these questions. What is a woman? What is an adult? What will you take? What will you not take? What will you put up with? What will you not put up with? Those questions you gotta ask. You gotta know you. You gotta know how. You gotta know your strength. You have to know your weaknesses. As I posted earlier, what they put out, supposedly, brother gave it to me, about what the NAACP put out for this weekend was a white supremacist initiation weekend. They looking to torture, kill, harass black men and boys. They said stay alert. Don't be fooled. Don't be gullible. Someone runs into your car, don't just jump out so quick because they'll start yelling. I mean, I seen this with my own eyes. They'll whisper something, racist. You'll say, "Hey, what's going on?" They'll start yelling at the top of their lungs, to gather attention, to make it seem like you're the one that's causing the disturbance, and then they'll create a situation where they got to pull out a weapon and shoot and whatnot. When they created it, the whole situation from the first, I mean, all these little tricks you got to be aware of and know how to counter those tricks, because they on code and they unified. And they said, well, we done so much damage with their divide and conquer tactics that there's no way black people will ever unify. That's what they're saying. They're saying that they former leaders, all the way from the Confederates and pre-Confederate times, put so much damage upon the black man's mind that we would never unify. That they're saying that it's impossible for us to unify and see each other as brothers and each other as equals. They divided us from the old and the young. They divided us from the male and the female. They divided us on texture of hair. They divided us on skin color. They divided us on things that don't even matter. They divided us on regions. I mean, it's ridiculous. But they was clever. And it worked. So the task is, do we have the mindset, the strength, and the intelligence to overcome what they put on us? Can we rise above the madness that they purposely set in our mind? How did they do it? Hell, not allowing black folks to read or write for hundreds of years. And then, in where that void was, they put their ideology and their mindset into our mind. Then when it was time to set us free, they set us free. But we was free with white folks' minds. So, of course, we started attacking each other. I got more land than you got. My house bigger than yours. I got a white friend and you don't. I married a white person, you didn't. I mean, every little thing that they could use to separate us, they used it, and it worked. Then we used it. Then we took it and ran with it and started using it against each other, and it worked. That way, when we got into any confrontations, we was quick to shoot and kill each other, because really, we hated ourselves and we hated anything that looked like us, because we was treated so bad to where we thought you had, in order to be something in America, you had to have something tied to being white. So we wore the white Jesus around our necks. We had the white Jesus all up in our house, because in that white supremacist mindset that they gave us, we thought that was going to get us into heaven. Man, look, trust me, they cold with that technology, psychological mind manipulation, masters of it. As I always state, you hear me say it a lot of times in the movie Birth of a Nation, where they purposely painted themselves in blackface to create a character or an image in the world's mind of, this is how black folks act. Even though it's a white man in blackface, but it took off. It took off, and people saw that and said, wow, look at how that black man is acting. That's who they are. And it's like, don't you see that this is a white man playing black? They created that. We didn't create it. But we've been up under that stigmatization that they've created for 100 years. So, okay. That was the problem. What's the solution? Now, I'm always saying the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and I'm biased, but that's due to the fact that the message of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is 180 degrees opposite of what the white supremacist slave masters taught. So, meaning, if you want to free yourself, sometimes you got to do the opposite to give yourself enough room and space so you can think and concentrate. You see what I'm saying? It takes that. You have to go that far to the opposite to free yourself, to get out from up under. You can't get up from under something 10%. You just move over a little bit, but yet you still up under it. You got to go to the opposite ends of the spectrum in order to free yourselves. You see what I mean? You can't think and free yourselves if you still up under it. So to be fair, you would say, okay, well, I'll tell you what, Mr. White Man. I'll tell you what we're gonna do, right? This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you back your mind. I'm gonna give you back your white Jesus. I'm gonna give you back your religion, right? I'm gonna pick up the religion of my forefather, and I'm gonna pick up my ancestors' mindset, right? Then let me apply what was in my genetic makeup, in my family's history, and see if it's beneficial for me. And if I try it out and it don't work, then I'll come back and look at what you forced upon us. Right? But for right now, I'm going to give you back everything. You take it all back. You can have your names back. Get that on back. You can have all that back. Right? And let me get me a free mind. Something that wasn't forced up on me by the slave masters or the colonizers or the white supremacists. And then we'll talk later. But right now, I got to get out from up under the yoke of oppression. How about that? I mean, hey, you know what I mean? So that's the goal. So let's build on that. Let's put it together, because if we don't do it, who's gonna do it? You dig what I'm saying? If we don't do it, nobody's gonna do it, right? Can I get a hand clap or something? Okay, I'll take that. But I don't mean to be long with this thing, but I just wanted to drive the point home of unity. I mean, unity, that is so, that's very, meaning that's all we're going to have. Meaning that the God is going to force us to unify up under Him as the banner or the umbrella. We're going to have to unify under God's umbrella. He's going to force us to do it. We're not going to even have a choice but to do it. So it's like you might as well do it voluntarily before you be forced to do it, because you don't know what method will be used in order to force you to do it. Now, I know you're going to have some that say, well, I'm going to stand on my own. I don't need to unify. Because everybody say that. People say, you hear that all the time, right? But then when your child or someone of your family members, right, get picked off, and then the whole tribe come to your aid and march for you, you understand unity. But hopefully incidents like that don't have to occur in order for you to understand what unity is, right? Because the people can easily say, okay, I tell you what, right? Everybody that wants to unify, let's leave and go over here. And everybody that wants to stay up under white supremacy and oppression, y'all stay over there, right? But soon as they close in on you and start attacking you, the people that separated and left, in their hearts, they want to come back and aid you, but we have to realize that you made your own choice. You didn't want to unify. You wanted to stay up under the oppression of white supremacy. It's like in slavery. Everybody didn't want to run away to get free. Some was scared. Some was like, look, master, give me a little house and I give me an extra biscuit and they let me drink a little moonshine on Sundays. I'm in heaven. Hell, you better come on in. I could take them lashes and them whips. You know what I mean? Hey, if that's your life, that's your life. But I'm just simply saying, for those that want a free mind, enjoy life, enjoy God's planet and all the wonders He provided for us in nature, then let's unite. For those who don't want to unite and don't even understand the reason on why to unite, then okay, chance. Because it's like Abraham. Y'all always hear me say it's like the Abraham. You gotta go through all the options before you say, okay, I did everything. Wherever wherever you fall, just where you fall. Cause I tried. Abraham went. Let me get 100. Can't find 100. Let me get 50. He had to come humble himself. God, I couldn't find one. And then God's judgment rained down. It's like that. Look, if you don't know why we should unify, for those who don't understand, go do your research, read, try to educate yourself. And that's only for a time. After that, time was allotted for you to research and understand. And if you still don't get it, then hey, you're on your own. That's all. But thank you all for listening. We're not through. Subscribe, like, check out Everyday People the Movie, which is on YouTube. You gotta type all that in. Everyday People the Movie. Verbal Pick Radio. And we got the Verbal Pick Radio website that's being worked on right now. We'll get that to you all in due time. But we're out.